Howard Stern? Yeah, Howard Stern. Don't you listen to him? I do. Occasionally pick him up on Sirius XM. There was a time when I thought Stern was too much of a dilettante to be as famous as he was, but I've come around from that. I've listened to a lot of what he says, and I know his longtime producer, or not his, but who's the other guy that was? Oh God, just died the other day. Having a brain fart. Back to Stern. Stern didn't mince words when he was talking about this crazy fucker Kanye West. I mean, Kanye West has lost his goddamn mind, but that's no longer an excuse, is the point that Stern is trying to make. Kanye West and his anti-Semitic comments. Stern said on yesterday's show, and the audio appeared if you missed it, and you probably did, but the audio was available on Mediaite. But Stern said, quote, "I almost don't want to give any energy to this Kanye West character. I don't know much about Kanye West. I'm not big into the rap scene, but he is, well, I'm really tired of people excusing his behavior by saying, well, he's just mentally ill," end quote. Stern then began talking about Kanye West's recent appearance on Chris Cuomo's new show on, I forget what network it is, but Cuomo's back. And Stern said this, quote, "Kanye was on the Chris Cuomo show, and good Lord, you got to hear the shit this guy's into. And fuck this mental illness rap, self-defense. That's what he says he's into, like, oh yeah, he's just mentally ill, so don't worry about it," end quote. And then Stern said, quote, "If he's so mentally ill, why don't they appoint a conservator over his money like they did with poor Britney Spears," end quote. And then Howard Stern played a little snippet from the Cuomo interview that included West referencing, quote, "the Jewish underground media mafia." And his reference was he was blaming the Jewish underground media mafia for why he's never referred to, Kanye West, is never referred to as a billionaire or a tycoon. Can you fucking believe this? And in response to that bullshit, Howard Stern said, addressing this asshole Kanye West, Howard Stern said, "Guess what, douchebag? When they write about me, they call me the shock jock. You don't have control over, well, you're a rapper. That's what you are. That's how you became famous. If a newspaper article doesn't point out the fact that you're some sort of designer or genius, maybe that's not because he's Jewish, but maybe because he just doesn't put that much thought into who the fuck you are and what your business is," end quote. And of course, Stern is a Jew too, as you know. But then Stern added this, quote, "This is so depressing. I mean, Kanye used to be fun crazy. Now he's like Hitler," end quote. So many of these people are, quote, like Hitler, end quote, as you've heard me reference so many times on this podcast. And a few years ago, I remember the idea was floating around social media. Oh, you left-wingers have got to stop referring to Hitler when you're talking about our good Christian Republican members of Congress and media types. Bullshit. Bullshit. Now, in case you didn't know, after this creep fuck Kanye West put out a bunch of anti-Semitic posts earlier this month, Instagram restricted his account and deleted content from his page after he violated their rules and guidelines. And that was reported by NBC and CNN. And then a spokesperson from Meta, Facebook and Instagram and all this other shit, Meta spokesperson did not confirm what content that they removed violated their rules. Now, you know my position on Facebook. I wish the whole fucking thing would disappear. No, seriously, I really, truly do. I wish social media, with the exception maybe of Twitter, I just wish it would go away. It has become, probably after the Christian church, it has become the most destructive force on the fucking planet. Social media, it has. You know this. Yeah, well, try to uninvent nuclear weapons too, right? And Kanye West's Twitter account was later restricted too after one of his tweets violated that company's rules. The AJC, American Jewish Committee, also called out this jackass's language for perpetuating what AJC called, quote, anti-Semitic tropes like greed and control. They added, quote, Kanye West should figure out how to make a point without using anti-Semitism. Over the last week, the musician has fomented hatred of Jews, end quote. Why do people do this? Whether the target happens to be Jews or gay folk or trans folk or liberal folk or democratic folk or immigrant folk or, I mean, what the fuck is the point? Well, we know what the point is. We know what the point is when somebody feels useless and worthless, like so many examples of white trash. And by white trash, I mean up to and including bum fucks like Josh Hawley and people like that, but also black trash like Kanye West. When these people start to feel their own inferiority, when they know that something is lacking inside them that makes them feel like shit, they have to attack someone they consider to be, well, I could attack that person because he's lower down the food chain than I am. These people need help, don't they? Help that they'll never get. And then Kanye West appeared on yesterday on Piers Morgan's Uncensored program. And when he was pushed by Morgan about his racist comments from the past couple of weeks that Morgan said insult the Jewish people, Kanye West said multiple times that he was, quote, absolutely not sorry for what I said, what he said. And Morgan said, quote, so you said it knowing it's racist? Kanye West replied, yeah, I fought fire with fire. See? Huh? Earlier this week, it was also announced that Kanye West is acquiring Parler, that Nazi social media site. In a statement on Monday, according to what I have here, Parliament Technologies, which is Parler's parent company, said it was, quote, pleased to announce that it has entered into an agreement in principle for Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, to acquire the Parler platform. This acquisition ensures Parler a future role in creating an uncancelable ecosystem where all voices are welcome. End quote. Yeah, that's the other thing that these irritating son of a bitches do. They use the idea of freedom of speech. That's what they hide behind. Well, it's my freedom of speech. There is no such thing as unfettered freedom of speech. It does not exist. It does not exist. Responsible speech, or even insulting speech, but speech that promotes violence, speech that promotes death, speech that promotes injury, no. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.